Thank you very much, guys. Another pretty clean win for Samsung Blue. I think some credit has to be given to OMG for at least remaining relevant as far as CS is concerned up till the 20-minute mark. But then I think just a whole bunch of brain farts. I can't understand some of the decision making. Before we get to that, let's talk about the lane swap. Monty, I know you quite liked the lane swap early on and some of Blue's plays around the map.
Yeah, I know. I was like flipping out here for that first teleport play that we saw on the desk. I was so excited to see that because I've never seen it before. And when I talk about Acorn, I like to describe him as a player, a top laner that's like death by 1,000 cuts. He's not the guy who's going to get the big haymaker play, but he is the guy who's going to outsmart you in very, very small ways and then get a massive advantage over a long period of time. And in that situation, what we saw was he had successfully pushed in the lane swap. He was bottom on Kale, pushed the lane into the turret. Meanwhile, the Deft was freezing in top lane, had piled a big wave. Now, Deft comes back into the lane with his Cutlass, doesn't use it, but still chunks going out of lane. Now, both top laners are heading back, but Kale has a long time to walk into the lane without losing any CS. Going starts to teleport top. However, Twitch had just hit 6, and then also still had the Cutlass active up, and then Acorn decides to teleport as well. They both cancel because otherwise Going would have just died to a dive, and he lost the entire minion wave, and then Acorn could just safely walk back in and get all of that experience, and their teleports were still synced up. I've never seen anybody do that before. It just goes to show how well these guys play across the map as a team. It was pretty incredible.
Yeah, all I can really say is absolutely great play by him. Acorn did do really well. Basically, sorry, I had like a random point stuck in my head. 30 points offense masteries, by the way, just for what that one's worth. I started like looking at his builds, and I got like distracted. You started talking about Acorn some more. I was like, hey, it's on my screen still. So yeah, but that was kind of all I wanted to bring up as far as related to that point.
So let's talk a little bit more about Samsung Blue in that win. As I said, as we got more and more into the game, they roamed around the map, they pushed the towers. They didn't get a big lead by any stretch of the imagination, but the aggressive player that D-Man was talking about, Deft would get in everybody's face, put down the spray and pray, and then Cool would just decide to pick up 4 minions and then die anyway. I can't understand some of the decisions that OMG were making, especially after the 20-minute mark.
Yeah, and it's not like OMG was outcomped in any way either, because when I think of Twitch, I think of the most annoying champions to play Twitch against. That is Yasuo, who is incredibly good at taking down non-mobility carries. Wind Wall is also probably the biggest counter in the game to spray and pray, so all you have to do is wait for him to initiate, put down your Wind Wall, spray and pray is useless, or rat-a-tat-tat. Also, Tristana, really hard champion to pick, right? Normally 80 carries, Twitch is looking to kill the enemy 80 carry, but Tristana is incredibly safe. So Deft was down 50 CS in the mid game, but he still was able to make plays and make that team comp work, which props to him and props to Samsung Blue. They played their team comp really well.
I mean, we're knocking OMG a lot, which I think is warranted, but the one thing they did do well this time, which is different from the last time they played Yasuo, is they did split push for about, like, 90 seconds. They sent Lee Sin in the jungle on the bot side and had Yasuo split to tier 2, and then they go, wait, why are we doing this? Let's go fight or something. They recalled and they went to fight. So they had glimpses of the value of split pushing, but I don't think they really grasped that that's what they needed to do with that Yasuo.
It's definitely something that the shoutcasters are talking about consistently. So Samsung Blue, again, showing their prowess on the map. Tomorrow they play 2 games, one against LMQ, one against Fnatic. I asked both of you guys before the game, what do you do if you are Fnatic? What do you do if you are LMQ watching that game? What would your advice be to those players, considering it is LCS squads going up against the #1 seed from Korea?
Well, just looking at that comp, that was a very Twitch-centric comp. You know, they had Ori, Kale, and Janna to kind of beef up the Twitch. If they're so confident to run that comp, even into champions like Yasuo and Tristana, like I said, those are probably the biggest counters to Twitch, then Fnatic just has to play, I think, the same style that OMG did, the same team comps, but better. Just execute it better.
We'll have to see if they can do that. Let's take a quick look at the standings before we head into that final game of the day. We'll be keeping you up to date with the results as and when they come in. So there you go, Samsung Blue 3-1. Got a couple of games buffer between Fnatic and OMG at the bottom of the table. We're just about to watch Alliance taking on Najin Shield in a moment or two. So we'll see how that game pans out. And a lot of pressure on Alliance's shoulders, I feel, probably as they are preparing for this game after you've seen them win earlier today. What are they thinking about as they are getting set up on stage?
I think they need to just remind themselves what their strengths are as a team. Like, you know, they have really strong solo laners, and I think they just need to get it in their head that they can win laning phase if they try hard, if they get the champions they want, and they need to just put that in their head. This is our game plan. This is how we need to win.
All right, we'll see if they can. They did win early game last time against Najin Shield. So we are going to take that quick break, and the world's action will continue shortly when Europe's alliance takes on Korea's Najin White Shield. Guys, don't go anywhere.
Going for it, Dada having to flash out of that one. He may get locked in. Spirit Chops on him. There's one kill go down, and this is a risky play.
Oh,
He
damn,
comes
that's
back time around. He tries to get on towards Cole. Lot of damage coming through. They have so much push potential. Loveling going incredibly deep. Picks out Death for the ultimate of Cole, but he just does next to no damage.